Hello again, welcome back to Lead TV. I'm Krey, the Salon Mentor, and this is where we help you become that confident and effective leader you've always wanted to be. So today we are talking about something I'm sure we've all been guilty of, and that is ignoring our best staff members, right? Spending all of our time focusing all of our attention on our problems and maybe not paying enough attention to our better performers, the ones who are reliable, that usually do the right thing, okay? Why is it so easy to do? We're all busy. And I'm sure most of us struggle at the best of times to just sit down and talk with any of our staff. There's always 1,000 other things pulling on us for that time, okay? So, of course, when time is tight, people are off sick, you're short-staffed, of course, what we'll always tend to do is we will postpone, again, the chat with our good staff member to prioritise the problem, okay? The squeaky wheel, the one that's causing us concern. What's the problem with that, you might ask? Well, here's the thing. You know how we often say that the number one cause of client loss, the number one reason why we lose clients is actually not that we did anything wrong, it's just boredom, if you like. It's lack of freshness, lack of newness, lack of change, lack of excitement, okay? They've always been happy with what's happened, but they've gone to lunch with the girls on Sunday and someone's walked in with a fabulous new cut and colour, shall we say, and their first question is, oh, that looks amazing. Where do you go? Where did you get that done? And because they're craving a little bit of that newness, bam, they follow them. Same thing can happen to your staff, okay? So maybe they received an offer a while ago, but they turned it down out of loyalty for you, okay? And they were happy with that. They were okay to do that for a while, but lately they just don't feel like they're growing. And here's the thing, those good staff, if you were one of those really good staff working for someone else, you would be the kind of person who loves to be challenged, right? You want to grow, you want to learn new things. You're always looking about where to next, how can I grow? Because you're someone who just thrives on development, okay? If things have been a little bit same, just client after client after client, and there's been no newness, no learning, no discussion around where to next for them, then you never know. They may just, get another call, get another offer on a day where they're thinking, do I need to find that growth, that change I'm looking for elsewhere, okay? So in a nutshell, what happens is that when we take our better performers for granted, sometimes it's enough for them to just feel a little, not neglected, but just in need of newness and in need of growth. And unfortunately, they may feel like they've got to look for that elsewhere. Really understand that time that you invest with each of your staff is almost like the watering and fertilizing that you would do for a plant. It encourages them, it feeds them, it just really helps them focus and thrive, and the fact that you've put aside time for them shows that they are important to you. So the reverse is also true. When you have not given them that time, when they've been starved of that time and that attention and that focus, then just like a plant that we've all forgotten to water, the edges start to curl up a little. They go a little brown around the edges. They start to shrivel a little bit, and they're just not thriving and growing like they used to, okay? So we have to be careful about assuming that they'll always be okay, because one day we might just find that best staff member is now gone, looking for their next opportunity to grow, okay? So not making time to sit with the good ones obviously can come back and bite us. And look, you can't allow that priority to only happen if you happen to find yourself with time. Oh, if we get time next week, we'll do it. You're never going to have time. It's never going to happen. This is what I call a big rock. If you've been to any of my programs, you'll have heard about big rocks. What does that mean? It goes in first. It is a must do. It's a non-negotiable. It's not something we do if we get time, because it'll never happen. It goes in first. And yes, we are going to book appointments and other things around that. And yes, there are going to be days when we're short-staffed. Staff are on holidays, staff are off sick, and it's going to be a real pain to have to fit that in. But you know what? It is a commitment that we need to make in that relationship and in the future performance of that staff member. It's a non-negotiable. So put it in the diary weeks and months ahead, every single month. Schedule it in just like an appointment. Do not take it out. And I get it's going to be tricky sometimes, but we're going to do it anyway, okay? The other thing I'd like to say is leading your more experienced staff that have been with you for years. They're good performers. They usually make their target week after week. They rarely cause you any trouble. They're reliable and responsible, okay? Keeping them stretched and engaged is far more challenging for a leader than managing our newer staff and our more junior staff. It's so much easier to manage the youngies, all right? It's the ones that you've had for years that really stretch you because you are being stretched so that you can keep them stretched. It takes so much more, okay? But make the commitment, okay? Never assume that they're going to be fine. Get in the diary, sit with them. What are you going to talk about? Talk about what's going well for them. Maybe look at their performance, obviously, and talk about what they're doing well and acknowledge them for that. Even if they always do that well, acknowledge it, okay? So we're going to talk about what's going well. Has there been anything that's been difficult for them or frustrating for them? Or what's something that they think we could do differently? What could we do better? If this were their business, what would they do differently? Is there a situation in the business that maybe they think needs to be dealt with or needs to be managed that maybe isn't being dealt with at the moment because you didn't realise it was such a priority, okay? Also, what would they like to learn and improve over the next 3 to 6 months? Where to from here? Because the key, or one of the big keys to staff retention is always opportunities to grow. If you want that staff member to stay engaged and connected to your business, they've got to have a plan. They've got to know what they're doing next month and in 3 months and in 6 months and what their future looks like with you. If it just looks like yesterday, that's not very inspiring, is it? So what do? When they want that freshness and that newness and that change, they go elsewhere, okay? So what I really want to do is summarise the important point that you need to look after your good ones, people. Don't assume they're going to be okay. Put the effort in, make the time to have the chat. So I hope that inspires you to go right now, go to your appointment book, go to your diary and put that time in. Let them know you're going to have the conversation. Maybe ask them to complete a couple of questions beforehand in preparation. You'll do the same thing and you'll sit down and compare notes and have a really good heart-to-heart open conversation. And you never know. It might just be the time that they raise an issue that's been on their mind for a while, but they just didn't want to bother you because you're so busy. Okay, so don't ignore your good ones, people. Make time for them, invest in that relationship and show them that they're important to you and to the business. Hope that helps, guys. I'll see you next week for another episode of Lead TV. Have a great week. Bye for now.